What's up, YouTubers? So before we get started with this video, on Max Unboxing, they're going to be talking about the fight between Lomachenko and Lopez. So let's see what they have to say about that.
Mark, you recently spent some time with Lomachenko at his camp. What'd you learn from the time you spent there?
You know, it's the opposite kind of relationship that you and I have both seen with Teofimo and his dad. It's not that they don't argue. It's just that you don't see it. Whatever conflict they have is off camera, away from the public's eyes. There's never any dissent in there.
Yeah, that's the way it should be. You got to keep it trash behind closed doors. Don't let anybody see what's going on.
And again, Anatoly Lomachenko, who might be the greatest trainer on the planet right now, says nothing. What I find curious is that the level of risk for Lomachenko keeps upping itself. He's still, to me, 126 pounds. And the physical dimensions are just not in his favor at this division. And yet, this is all the dad's plan. They keep upping the level of risk. I asked him, do you know the story of Icarus? His dad gives him wings, flies too high to the sun, boom, goes down. He says, yes, I know the story, but if I were Icarus, my dad would have got a pair of wings and fly up there with me. So he has complete faith in whatever his dad tells him, which is not always the case on the other side. With Teofimo, their conflict is more out there, more palpable.
Yeah, your wings can...
Yeah, you got to keep your trash behind closed doors. Don't let anybody see or even think about what's going on behind closed doors in your camp, because they might be able to use that against you. And Lomachenko is bad.
Get burnt by the sun, that's for sure, although Teo's dad's son doesn't have the height and the reach that Luke Campbell had, or Jorge Linares had the height and the reach and the kind of straight right hands that seemed to have bothered Lomachenko as he moved up. Lopez is a different kind of more compact fighter and physically doesn't resemble the kind of lightweight against whom Lomachenko has, you can't really say struggled, but by his standards struggled.
Yeah, like I said, let me give a little quick update for you guys. So Lomachenko is 14-1, and Lopez is 15-0. And I think Lomachenko is working on a 13 game or a 13 bout winning streak. So this is going to be a pretty good fight.
Look, I know what you're saying, Max, but you yourself are the world's greatest advocate of what? Fast twitch muscles. And Teofimo has, if nothing else, a lot of power and some fast twitching.
He certainly does.
I think this presents its own problem.
He certainly does. And Lomachenko also has punching power, but it's not heavy-handed power. It's, I'm going to hit you with a shot that you don't see perfectly power. Teo doesn't have to hit you perfectly. He's got fast twitchies and he's got heavy hands. That is a rare and devastating combination. You weren't able to be physically at Teo's camp, but you've spoken with him numerous times. What have you been able to learn about his game plan for this fight?
Well, I think he wants to push Lomachenko back. He says Lomachenko can't fight going backwards. He said something.
Because he hasn't really needed to go to fight going backwards, because he's always going forward with those excellent footwork, and he's super athletic.
Interesting, and we've heard this mostly in the language of heavyweights. He's an illusion. So that, I think what he's saying by that is he's a bully. That if you demystify his reputation, he's just a little guy. I don't believe that, but I think that Teofimo comes close to believing that. Wants to push him back.
So there's a reason why they call Lomachenko the Matrix.
He wants to bang him to the body. And you said something before about Lomachenko's power, the way he dismantles people. It's not pure power. I think they get disoriented. They become humiliated, and that's why they quit. They're throwing punches in air. They don't know where he is. They're getting hit from angles that they don't see. That's why they go. I'm not sure that's going to happen with Teofimo.
As a southpaw fighter, fighting orthodox fighters, you never see a clash of heads really cause any